Hey Dreamers, Bryce here from Midnight Notion, singer-songwriter, musician, big fan of Metallica, but I have no idea what my favorite Metallica song is. Could it be Prince Charming? Let's use math to find out. Cue the intro.
So give it to me now!
For the best Metallica song! Prince Charming, track number 10 from Reload. We only got a couple more songs left of this record, and then this stupid, ugly background goes away in place of a new one. To answer your question, yes, we are going to do the two originals from S&M. No, we're not going to do the other songs because they've already been done. But today, we're going to listen to Prince Charming together, you and me. I'm going to stop it and blah, blah, blah anytime I see something interesting or hear something interesting, and then grade it using the following criteria: composition, memorability, emotional response, instrumentation, and of course lyrics. Each category is a scale of 0 to 4 with a grand total of 20 possible points. We'll find out at the end if Prince Charming has what it takes to get to the top 20. Also, you know what? I heard someone told me that you were about to hit the subscribe button. Is that true? It is? Oh! Well, I'm honored. Thank you so much for doing so. You're the bestest person in the world. To those of you who have already done so, you're also the bestest person in the world. Let's listen to this song, Prince Charming. Here we go. Just James. Got a little more groove.
There's a black cloud overhead, that's me.
Me? That's you?
And the poison ivy chokes the tree. Again, it's me.
That's you too?
I'm the filthy one on Bourbon Street. You walk on by. I'm the little boy that pushes hard and makes him cry.
All right.
There's a dirty needle.
I think that riff, the little thing that right before the verse, that little tag on the riff comes down. That's a little wonky for me. There's something mixing me up there. I know that this song has a lot of energy with the music, but the vocals are very. That was both a yawn and illustration of just flat. Plateaued. There's a that's me. Just kind of one note. I mean, he might go a little bit, but it's very just straight. Nothing really happening in his singing. That for me makes the song less interesting. I know that artistically it can create a little bit of an interest, but I think when we have so much energy in a song, I'm looking for. I mean, James has been singing so well. Maybe he's tired. Maybe his voice is tired from all those notes he's been hitting. But at this point, he's just kind of phoning it in. That's me. I'm over here giving up. That's me. And that's kind of what I'm hearing from this so far.
In your child, stick me. Empty bottles, still in hand, still dead, still me. I'm the super tide that bleeds the street and steal once more. I'm the 45 that's in your mouth. I'm the dirty whore. Yeah, look at me.
Okay, I want to go back to that. I'm going to count that because that feels odd to me.
I'm the dirty whore. Yeah, look at me.
It adds up. It's fine. It's just there's something about it's all kind of offbeats and so when we come into that chorus, it's me. It doesn't come in on the one. It comes in on the for and, and so the offbeats are really throwing that do. I almost want just one more. I wish there was a do. Maybe I'm singing it exactly as it goes, but for some reason to me it feels off or clunky or just there's something about that tag that isn't sitting well with me. Rest of it's groovy.
The one who can't be free, much too young to focus, but too old to see. Hey, look at me, when no one wants what you rock this world, just what you wanna see. Hey ma, look it's me.
All right, little stop. Psh, hey mama, look, it's me. All right, cool. That's nice. That's nice. Okay. Something I didn't notice before is that this riff, it's moving a lot on both guitars. Every time they come back down to that, what is it, E flat? It's probably an E flat. But you can hear the bass moving from E flat down to what I'm assuming is a D flat, maybe a C flat. We could get into sharps if you want to. But either way, the bass is moving with like a straight, like chorded, like a single note. Okay, so that's what the bass is doing, but the guitars are riffing. By having the bass, if you had the bass doing the same, this riff wouldn't feel the same. It would be too, I mean, the riff would be maybe thicker, but the drums would be just so wide open. So by having the bass kind of strum the root notes, the guitars can riff. That gives space for everything. One rule in songwriting, or kind of not really rule, but something to be aware of, is you don't want to just stack everything on top of each other. You don't want to have, the instruments holding out the notes while the vocals are also holding out the notes, right? You'd want to strum while the vocals hold, or sing fast while the instruments hold. You want to make sure that each measure has enough space for each piece. And so if the guitars are riffing, let the bass just hold the root. If you want to switch that up and have the bass riff, maybe the guitars should just hold the root. I don't know. You could do whatever you want, and all of these rules are meant to be broken, but this does have elements of songwriting 101 that work for me. And so I got to applaud that. I got to point out when they do things right. The song isn't sitting maybe as well as I would hope, but they are doing some great things compositionally. So keep that in mind when you're making your score. Don't just grade it out of 20. You have to actually think of each element. Compositionally, they're doing some good stuff. Love this. Yeah, it just feels weird. Let me count that again. I don't know. It just, something is weird about that. It just feels up. I don't know. It always feels like it's coming in one beat early or late. I don't know. It's awkward to me. Tell me what I'm hearing. I don't understand what I'm hearing, but I don't like it.
Father now, me again, me.
Me?
The marks inside your arms spell only me. I'm the nothing face that plants the bomb and strolls away. I'm the one who doesn't look quite right as children play.
I love this section.
Yeah, look, it's me, the one who can't be free. Much too young to focus, but too old to see. Hey, look, it's me, when no one wants to see. See what you rock this world, just what you wanna see. Hey ma, look, it's me.
Okay, there's something really interesting about the end of the choruses here for this song. There's a natural progression, da, 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 and then we come down to da, da, da. Okay, I don't know the exact progression. I haven't sat down and figured it out on a guitar, but we have the same progression throughout. Then the second time through the chorus, da, 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 stop. So they're repeating that one section. It doesn't go back up yet. It's supposed to go back up as it's been, but they kind of lengthen out the one. The second ending has a lengthened section where the chord usually changes. They double it up, then they pause, and then they go back into the song. That's the rule of threes. Again, in an odd, like it's an interesting way to look at the rule of threes, but we have this one section that's supposed to move up. Nope, we repeat it. And then it's supposed to move up. Nope, doesn't. We're going to stop here, and it's still technically in that chord, even though everything is stopped. Now we're back to the main riff. And by doing little things like that, extending the end of your chorus, you could create some really interesting, lack of a better word, interest. Nice word. Is that the 2? I gotta find out. Okay, so the whole song has shifted up to that. Well, I guess that would be an F. It's the 2 of the chord, and we're just staying here. And now we have this section that has we got kind of a halftime feel. This is really cool. I like this section here.
What you hear, see right through me. See the one who can't be free. See right through me. Perfect speed what no one wants to see.
Ooh. Okay, so there's so much to be celebrated here. I'm gonna play this section again because I don't know where I'm at in the song. I'm just rewinding randomly, but I want you to notice that this whole song has been focusing on those offbeats. A lot of the kick drums, a lot of like the cymbal hits, they're coming on that and for and. They're right before the measure starts. Do 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 do. They're all on that offbeat, but then this section of the song has a very downbeat centered beat. Boom cha, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, and then just at the beginning of the measure we hit that 4 again, and then again, just like in the chorus, we have an extended break at the end. Let's listen. Offbeat. All right, so you thought it was going to be an offbeat again, but instead it was a ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Really cool extension on the end there, tricking you a little bit, switching it up, making it interesting. All right, I like this. I like this. Back to the intro. You know, I wonder what... That's really interesting to me. I like this verse better than all of the other verses combined. And I think it's because of the floor toms. For some reason, throughout this song, in the verses, Lars has been riding on the hi-hat, as he usually does. It's a little bit washy. He's lifted it up just a little bit. Right? Yeah, that's me, right? But this verse, for some reason, he's down to the floor tom. And the thickness, the roundness of that tom and riding on it that way for this verse really brought out the crunch in the rest of the instruments and really made this like thicker, bigger, heavier. You want heavy? Metallica brings you heavy. With this section, just this verse, where was that in the other verses? I wish he would have played it that way the whole way through. That was exciting. I like that a lot. Now we're back to normal.
Yeah, look, it's me, the one who can't be free. Much too young to focus, but too old to see. Hey, look, it's me, when no one wants to see. See what you brought this world is what you want to see. Hey, Ma, look, it's me. Yeah.
All right.
It's me.
low note is still ringing out a little bit. I think that low E flat, or if you want to call it D sharp, is just ringing out through this, and it's creating a little bit of a dissonance when they're climbing down. Not anymore. And we're ending with my favorite fill in the song, not. All right, cool, fun enough. I appreciate the song a little bit more. I came into this song not really knowing it that well, so a little surprised, but I can't get too far into the weeds. We got to talk about the points. Let's give them some of those. Here we go. Composition. Now, I really struggle with this score because they do have a lot of the elements that I look for in a good, well-written Metallica song. It does kind of follow the verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus structure, but they have second endings. They've got extended sections like that rule of three in the chorus that I was talking about earlier. Really appreciate that. I like how the intro comes back later on. I like how the chorus is like half held notes, but then the second time around, we got that main riff again. There's a lot of interesting things here, compositionally speaking. The only thing that really brings it down for me is that little tag on the end. For some reason, that riff just knocks me off a little bit. Like I'm listening and then I'm like, oh wait, where's the beat again? And it shouldn't do that. It adds up perfectly fine. So I don't know why it makes it feel so clunky. And maybe the reason for that clunky, maybe that's me again. I don't know, but it feels off to me, and that it's kind of off-putting because it comes back throughout the song multiple times, and so every time it comes around I'm like, oh, I kind of you're screwing with my groove, man. And so compositionally, that's where I think it falls. I also wish that Lars would use the floor tom in all the verses, because that last verse was absolutely amazing with the floor to boom cha, really cool stuff. I love the middle section, that whole bridge where we get that halftime feel with the straight beats instead of the off beats, but then an occasional offbeat. Really nice, really well written. Compositionally, I'd like to give him points, but again, I'm really kind of off put by that little tag. So we'll give it right in the middle, compositionally, a 2. Memorability. Unfortunately, I don't think that there's a lot to remember about this song. They're doing things like having the stop, hey mama, look, it's me. I guess I appreciate that. That's what I've always been saying I want in most of their songs, and they did it here, so well done. I'm going to remember that line. I'm going to remember it's me, because that's the tag at the end of every verse line. Here's something, that's me. Here's another thing, that's me. The reason why it doesn't stick as much is because it changes between that's me, still me, stick me, yeah, that's me. Like it changes the delivery every single time. So it's hard to remember which version to say unless you memorize the music or remember the lyrics all the way through. The riff is pretty cool. I like that it changes. They go to the 2 for a whole section of the solo on the bridge. Real nice there. But again, there's just nothing really stands out. I don't remember much else except for it, that's me, and hey mama, look, it's me, which is essentially saying the same thing. So unfortunately, I'm going to give this a negative score. This one, memorability, is a 1. Emotional response. Again, this one didn't really fit for me. I mean, there was a lot of stuff to celebrate, but when I'm talking about when I listen to the song, what do I feel when I'm going through this? And I feel a mixture of like, oh yeah, this riff is cool, and oh, well, I didn't do it. Oh, this is cool. Oh, that's not. And the series of like, oh, well, that was close. It was close, right? I think it has to do with the static singing. You know, he doesn't really go anywhere for a long time, and just the repetition of the same riff over and over. I don't know, it's just not speaking to me. I want it to, but maybe I've been listening to Metallica for 71 days in a row, and this song just doesn't stand out. When you have an outstanding top 20 already, there's no chance that this one is going to make me feel really, really great. So unfortunately, emotional response, that's a 1. Instrumentation. again, they're playing fine. We got a wah guitar on this one. Nothing really unique, nothing too fast or too difficult. We got some fun little bends. You know, the bluesy bends are throughout the last two records. So that's neat. We're moving to the different sections of the song, the different chords. We've got the 2. We're moving up. I think they go to the 4 or the 5 in that pre-chorus section. So they're doing fine. I can't really knock them, but there's nothing that really stands out either. So we'll keep this right in the middle. Instrumentally, it's a 2. Lyrics. This song, I don't know. People might come at me for going against the things that I say that I love, but for some reason, these words don't work for me. Not that they're bad words. Again, I'm not coming in to just rip on Metallica, right? I'm a fan. I love everything they do, and I can appreciate what this song does. But there's something about the delivery or just, I don't know, the order of operations. There's just nothing really here. I think what they're trying to depict is the devil or darkness or sin. There's a lot of talk on this record about sin. So I think this, just everything bad in the world, that's me. And whoever Prince Charming is, maybe it's the Prince of Darkness, right? It could be the Prince of Darkness. Ozzy himself is the reason for the song. I don't know exactly what they're trying to depict, but that's what I'm reading from the lyrics. And it does have, it's like a list of things, you know, this thing, that's me, this thing, that's me. And they're all different things, and that's really interesting and whatever, but it just doesn't grab me. It's not really saying what I need it to say. It doesn't have the depth that the rest of this record has. And so I think if I was listening out of context, if this was the only song I had ever heard, I'd say, yeah, it's a pretty good song. But given that this is the 71st Metallica song since I started this journey, I'm not feeling it. It doesn't, the bar has been raised and it's under the bar for me. So lyrically, I gotta give this one a 1. And so Prince Charming gets a grand total of 7 points. You know that is 10 points away from the top 20, so it's not going to be on the board. You know what? Whatever. Not all of them can make the top, and that is totally okay. I have a feeling, I don't know if they've ever played this one live, but I have a feeling a lot of you are going to agree with this, where it stands in the list. But, you know, if there's any of you out there who are saying, no, this song deserves to be way higher up on the list, you got to let me know. Let's check out the list just to be sure. I want you to see this list and look at it and really think, does Prince Charming deserve to sit with the likes of One and Unforgiven and Master of Puppets and Sandman and Blackened and Sanitarium? Does it actually deserve to be on this list? I think no, but you're going to have to tell me yourself. Do the math. Actually divide it up into the 5 categories, 0 to 4 points. Do the math and see how it adds up for you, because I really, really, really genuinely want to know. So put that in the comments below using my method. What score would you give it? And then make sure to check out my music. Midnight Notion is available all over the internet. I would appreciate the Spotify streams. You could maybe buy my CD for friends and family for the upcoming holidays, huh? And make sure you subscribe, hit that button, because tomorrow we are going to be real low and sad and right next to a trash fire, because we're going to just be low and we're going to have lyrics. Thanks for watching. I'll see you then.